Good morning. I've got my coffee and ready to go and do some things in the garden, let the chickens out. So I thought I'd take you along with me today. I've been trying to wake up earlier to get up before the heat, but it has just been so hot here. And I feel like even last night I was out in the garden, I think around like 10:30 still, and it was still hot, like humid. Like I was dripping in sweat. Like we have not had a break in this hot weather. We were doing so good this spring and beginning of summer. I feel like we were all kind of shocked at how great the weather was. Like the nights were cooler, the days were warm or hot, but they weren't like humid. And then something just switched and it has been like hot and humid and just not that fun to be outside. But anyway, I'm just going to go let the chickens out and walk around the garden and either do something or just sit in the garden and enjoy it before the heat comes out. I mean, it is hot, but I mean the sun, like still before it starts beaming down. Good morning, girls and boy. So, Miss Dolly, who we thought was Dolly, the white one, is not a Dolly. It's a he. He started crowing a couple days ago, so that's been fun. Let's get you girls in. So I think we have finally named them all. So we have, that is Mocha, this is Rachel, that's Phoebe, and Monica. We like the show Friends, so Eddie and I had the hardest time choosing names. We kept going back and forth, and the other day we're like, you know what, that'll work. And then for the rooster, I feel like Joey Chandler Ross didn't really work for him because he's little, he's a sweet little boy. And so I like the name Charles for a rooster, but he's little, so we went with Charlie. So that's our little rooster, Charlie. Come on out. Hi, girls. Good morning. Hi, Monica. She's the one that has laid an egg so far. Good morning, Charlie. Good morning. Come on. You can do it. Come on. And by the way, he's little like that. That's just his breed. The little guy. Come on. Come on, you can do it. Come on, come on. Look at those feathers on those feet. Come on, buddy. Good job. Hi, good morning. Just let the big girls out. We mowed the lawn last night, so there's grass everywhere, but... Good morning, my girls. Good morning. Go ahead. What are you scared of? Go ahead. I remember when we first built this coop, everything was so nice and white and clean, and there was grass growing. And yeah, not so cute anymore. Everything seems so fresh and like doing great in the morning, but then in the heat when it's so hot during the day, I feel sorry for everything. Everything looks so sad and like it's hanging on for dear life. I took a video the other night. It was dark, but it just felt very magical and just very like cozy. The lights were on, so I wanted to insert that here. Looking back at this video, rewatching it, and just thinking about how oftentimes, I don't know if you're like this too, but we work so hard on something and we're striving towards a goal and we're doing, but then we don't always take the time to sit back and look at it and enjoy it. So this garden has been in the making for 6+ years, I think now. When we moved here, there was absolutely nothing, just a blank slate, no garden beds, nothing. And I'm always heading on, I'm always changing things, and I have this thought or kind of like self-doubt of like, oh, I'm going to show it when it's done, or if I'm telling someone about it, I'm like, oh, but it's not done yet, but it's not perfect. And I don't think it'll ever be done because I'm always adding, I'm always changing, trying out new things. And that's kind of the beauty of it all, is it's evolving and growing, and it's nice to see things come back that you've planted in the prior years. And so just, it was nice to kind of sit back and watch it and enjoy it after putting in all this work. And no, it's not perfect. I have things laying around, or things are broken or dead and not so pretty anymore. But it is very magical. And just in the evening, hearing the crickets and just seeing the lights on and walking through, it was really nice to kind of look at all of your hard work that you've done for so many years and enjoy it. And even though this garden may not have turned out or isn't producing like I would like it to be, I still am so thankful for it, and it has been so therapeutic for me. And even after I lost my mom, I have sat in this garden many times and cried and just thought of her and thought, oh, I so wish she could come here and just spend time with me in my garden, sit here with me, because so many things I've learned from my mom. And, I want to pick up the phone and call her and be like, Mom, how do I grow this again? Or why does it look like this? She always had the answer for everything. But it does bring me so much joy and comfort knowing that this has been kind of passed down from my mom, this desire to garden, because I was raised basically in the garden. My mom always had a garden growing up. And so I'm very thankful, and even though it may not be perfect, it has still brought me so much joy and peace, and I enjoy being in here. I know it's hard to see some things in that video because it's nighttime, but it was just so peaceful and quiet that I wanted to capture that moment. But as you can see, I do have a random tomato plant here. This is what happens when you don't have room for your plants anymore and you just stick them wherever. There was an empty spot here, and I thought, you know what, let's try it. I think this was a volunteer one, maybe, that I dug up in another spot. I don't remember. And I haven't been pruning this one. I have just let it do its thing. So as you can tell, there's a lot of suckers on here. And I don't even really know what kind of tomato this is, to be honest. It might be a cherry, it might be a big one. I have some flowers on it, but no, I'm trying to look down here. No fruit yet. So I'm not sure what kind it's going to be, but I've just let it do its thing. Over here, I believe, is like supposed to be a vine with flowers. This almost looks to me like it could be morning glory, but I did not plant morning glory, so I don't know what it is. See, it is having some kind of flowers, but this vine is looks different than this one. There's a hummingbird. Oh, it just didn't get it. But yeah, I have to trim back these roses a little bit. They've been doing great over here. The deer have been munching on them. The chickens also like the petals, so sometimes I'll rip those off and give them the petals to eat. These planters are looking rough. I've been watering them, but they just, everything here is just looking rough. I have some zinnias I popped in here as well, and just some random things. Some of the plants that are just dying back. And I have a volunteer tomato back there too, which I have just left and let it do its thing. Moving on over here, I started digging out these potatoes. I'll insert that clip here. And the rest of them I kind of saved because we're not going to eat all of them right now. And I thought, you know what, maybe they'll be better off in the ground. Maybe they'll get a little bit bigger. And so I've just dug like just a little bit and left the rest. Tomatoes are doing okay. They're starting to turn color, but I don't know. I feel like, I don't know if it's my soil or because of the extreme heat. I just feel like things aren't doing the best. I've noticed a lot of my my flowers just dried up. So I don't know if it's lack of pollination or, again, I don't know if it's the heat. So there's no fruit on them. They've just flowered and died back, which is really sad. As you can tell, like a lot of it. Gotten some fruit. That's like a wild, it looks like 5 tomatoes in one. But yeah, so I don't know. Same thing here. I have potatoes I haven't dug up. I've just kind of kept them here for now. Have some random onions back there that look like they're ready to come out. They're not too big yet, so I haven't taken them out. I thought maybe they'd get a little bit bigger, but not sure. And then moving on here, I did have potatoes in this row and that one back there, but I took them out. They were the red ones, and it was when we had the heavy rains and the heat, and I didn't want them to rot like they did last year, so I took them out. These are some bell peppers, some down there I have eggplant that I had in cups still where I had no room to plant them. They were suffering in their little planter pots, so I finally potted those out. And I think some of these actually moved from a different spot because they weren't doing so well. So as you can tell, they're still tiny, but maybe by the end of the season we'll get something off of them. Some tomatoes here with some peppers and some cucumbers. Gotten some cucumbers off of these vines. So yeah, some of the leaves are turning brown, not sure why. I mean, it's okay, but I'm not like happy with how everything is doing. I don't know. Have some cucumbers that could probably get picked soon. And just, yeah. My flowers too, I went through last night and pulled a bunch out that were dead. It's just, I feel like kind of the in between right now, where some are coming in, some are coming out. So like my dahlias are starting to bloom. So pretty. Oh, that's not pretty. These Japanese beetles, they're everywhere. They're so pretty. This was, what is this? This was yarrow that I cut back, and the rest of the plant looks like it might be dying. I thought maybe new. There's some new growth down there, but I might cut these back too so it doesn't look so ugly. I had a hornworm that did some damage. And then, yeah, these plants, I think these are determinate. So they've kind of stopped growing. They're very short and stubby. This one just looks like it's dying back. I'm not sure what happened. And then, yeah, I think it might be the soil. I don't know, but things aren't looking the best. And then over here where I dug out the potatoes, I planted some also random tomato plants that were either volunteers that I've dug up and transplanted here. Like this one's totally dying back, but I have a tomato on there, so I've kind of left it for it to ripen, and then I'll probably pull these 2 plants out. This one, I don't have these staked up, so the poor thing's falling over. But yeah, this is kind of like my last chance for these plants because they weren't doing so well, so I thought maybe if I plant them in here, they'd do a little bit better. I had a sunflower here that just fell over, so yeah, I feel like, I don't know, it's all right. This is also a tomato I stuck in here because I needed room. So yeah, this is the eggplant things I was talking about that I just put in here not too long ago. So hopefully they'll do better here. I turned my fountain off because it has been so hot that I feel like it runs dry so quick, and I would hate for the pump to run dry. So I've just kind of turned it off for now. And also we weren't home. We had a family reunion, so we were out and about like all day, every day. So I just didn't want to run the fountain. So I turned it off for now. I'll probably turn it on either today or tomorrow. Flowers in here are doing good. So pretty. Over here I have some, I believe this was arugula that self-seeded. So I have a lot of little sprouts coming, a random potato plant, some more peppers. This I think is like, I think my sister gave it to me, or maybe I planted it. Either some kind of zucchini or squash or melon. I don't even know, to be honest. Some more pepper plants, some basil in between. These Bosque blue tomatoes are looking wonderful and pretty. See, I'm like, look how nice it is to have so many tomatoes on a vine rather than just like one. Cucumbers are doing okay. I cut back a lot of these leaves because they were getting, what is it called? Powdery mildew. And so I did cut back a lot. I have some more cucumbers coming in. Same thing on this side. I mean, they're all right. They're hanging on there. Got a decent amount of cucumbers. I've pickled some already. Have some that are ready to pick. Tomatoes here are doing all right. This was a volunteer one that I've just let it do its thing, and it's thriving, so I've just let it go. It even bothers staking it up. I'm like, whatever, you do what you gotta do. Have a tomato in here, a couple actually in here I stuck in. It's my bag I was going through and getting rid of some trash yesterday. Gotta dump that, but I have some of these tomatoes in pots. They have some fruit on them, but they look like they're starting to not like it. I don't know if they're just running out of room because these pots aren't too big. So I have this whole thing of potatoes I also have to dig up. I dug some up last night, so I might put them in here. Not sure. And also some over here. 2 over here. I still have to plant these pots up. So, like I said, things are doing all right. I'm not like happy with everything, but I'm thankful that I at least have something. My loofahs have kind of, they're growing, but I don't have any loofah actually growing yet. I mean like the fruit, you know what I mean. Some tomatoes, and this is a bunch of, I'm like, where did all this come from? Like, I don't know. I have to go through and weed all of that. These are also, I think, either some zucchini or squash that I've just popped in here. Gotta trim all of this back. I have one random, I think this is like a white squash. And yeah, so the pickle worms, or they're not pickle worms, what are they called? Cabbage moths have gotten to my cabbages, so those aren't looking too great. Still have some of these. These are just like volunteers that I popped into cups. That I thought if I have room I'll plant out. If not, they'll just sit in there. And yeah, my strawberries are doing okay. The beetles have come to my strawberries. They were on my roses. Now they've come here. So they're kind of destroying the leaves. But we're just gonna go with it. I have been picking strawberries here and there if the bugs or birds or whoever don't get to them first. I was going to just sit in the garden and enjoy my coffee, but I remembered I let the chickens out. My bigger chickens in the back, I have them fenced in, but these younger ones, I just kind of let them free range, and I always sit outside and keep an eye on them. So I came back on the back porch because they're around here, so I can just watch them. They've been getting a little brave and wandering off a little bit, so I just wanted to stay next to them. Like I said, I am thankful for what I do have in the garden, but sometimes when you put in so much work and effort and things just don't look the best, it kind of gets a little discouraging, and that just kind of gives you room, or how do I say this, what am I trying to say? It's kind of a good way to learn, basically. So do some troubleshooting. Is it my soil? Is it the heat? Am I not watering enough? Because my garden, my raised beds get watered every morning. There's a timer, so the irrigation is run through all of them, so they get watered. But the in-ground garden in the back, I don't water every day. Sometimes every other day, I'll give it like a good soak, and just, I don't know, I kind of wanted to experiment. But it's not just my in-ground beds that aren't doing great. I feel like the whole garden is just, I don't know if it's my soil, or maybe I'm not giving it enough fertilizer or feeding it enough. My neighbor, sorry. So I guess I just need to experiment and figure out what it is. But hopefully we'll get some tomatoes and things like that, and maybe things will improve. I'll have to try to fertilize it. I did fertilize it before with like a fish emulsion. I have given it some bone meal. I think that's what it was. Yeah, bone meal. and just kind of try to keep doing other, like trying different things and see what will help it out. But I don't know, I guess that's kind of, I know this isn't something exciting, but just maybe to encourage you, if your garden doesn't look so great, you're not the only one. And even though I've been gardening for a few years now, my stuff still doesn't look that great. Even though I'm back there every day, basically like petting it and talking to it, like, okay, you're doing great, sweetie, but it's still not working. So yeah, so I'm just gonna sit back here, enjoy my coffee, try not to get too upset or discouraged, and just take what I can get. And like I said, have this be a learning curve or experiment for me, where I try out some different things to hopefully improve my quality. And people are already starting talking about fall planting, and I'm like, I can't believe it's middle of June already. Like, honestly, I know everybody says this, but it has flown by. I don't know. We had our big family reunion a couple weeks ago, or a week ago, whatever it is, whatever day it is. I don't even know what day it is. And so I feel like that consumed a lot of time, but it was so nice to be together with everyone. And I feel like all year we were looking forward to this family reunion, and now that it's happened, it's like, oh my goodness, half the year has flown by. And you know, people are like, oh, this many weeks until Christmas, and I'm like, no, don't even go there, don't start there. Like, I still haven't enjoyed summer yet. Sorry, it's so funny, my chicken's chasing a squirrel. But yeah, so I'm not gonna bore you too much longer. I just thought I would share what my garden currently looks like. And I haven't been filming or recording it like I should have been, because a lot of the times, because it's so hot, I'm out there either really late at night and it's really dark, you can't see anything, or I'm kind of a hot mess. I have a hard time focusing on one project. I'll do a little bit here, a little bit there, and it's just kind of messy. So but I'll take you along as much as I can. So thank you so much for coming along for today's video. I know it wasn't anything exciting. I just kind of wanted to give a little bit of an update, show you what the garden's looking like. I did pull all of my garlic. I also didn't record any of that. I don't think I did. I still haven't counted how much garlic I've gotten, because I didn't do it all in one time. I pulled some, and then a different section I pulled a different day, and some I've already used, but I'll try to go through and kind of get a rough estimate just so I know for myself. Some heads are bigger than others, which is fine, as long as I've got some garlic and I've got plenty for us. But yeah, so thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I will see you next time.